hindsight is 2020. Literally, hindsight is 2020. When you look back on things, you kind of start to wonder what if, right? And it's very easy to get into that mode. What if this were to have happened? What if this were to have happened? If this were to have happened, things would have been 10 times better for me, either in my career, in my life, in my love life, any way or anything you can think of. That's how normally, 2020, hindsight looks on, you know what I mean? That's how that works. But as we are coming to a close on Black History Month, of course, February is, Black History Month and things of that such. And as this month comes to a close, I was looking at a specific documentary or docuseries on Prime, and I have to say this one kind of caught me. This particular tidbit, this caught me in a major way. I'm going to dive into what it is that I saw, what the hindsight story is, or if you will, how this plays into Black History Month. I'm going to tie all of that together because, again, this one hit me dead in the head. I was surprised when I was caught up with this information, and being that I was born here in the Atlanta area, being that I am raised here in the Atlanta area, being that I live in the Atlanta area, and as somebody that covers the Atlanta Hawks as a profession, as a job, this one caught me by surprise. This one definitely hit me. And also too, let me know in the comments if you knew this information. Me as a millennial, I'm sort of surprised that I did not know this, that my dad didn't tell me this, but also too, I do believe that this kind of feeds into the narrative that most people who grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know what I'm saying? Like, most of them have this, feeling towards Atlanta sports that we can never have anything good here. We can never have anything good here. What's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard. This is Alpha Male Sports. I do appreciate everybody for joining me today, man. Thank you for rapping with me, man. Thank you for, just spending your time with me really quickly on this video because, again, this is man, caught me by surprise. So, I'm on Prime and I'm catching this video, of course, Soul Power. There's no coincidence that Soul Power came out in the month of February, be that is Black History Month. And this Soul Power dives into the ABA, the American Basketball Association, the competition that the ABA had with the NBA, and really why we see what we see in the NBA today. A lot of that is because of what we saw in the ABA, the creation of the three-point line, fast pace, up and down basketball. You know what I mean? A lot of fast breaks, fast paces, dunks. Consistent dunks, the style, the flash, the flair that you see in the NBA. This was what we can attest to the ABA. This is definitely where we get it from. And this documentary dives into every last bit of that. From different court cases and different situations that, dealt with players getting what they're just due. Just all of what the NBA didn't do, the ABA did do. And I'm telling you guys, if you have the opportunity, if you have a chance to get it, even if you have Prime or whatnot, dive into this documentary, get a good look at this, man. This is really a good documentary. So as I'm watching this, just kind of, not really paying too much attention, but I'm definitely watching it. You know how you just let something play in the background? I'm going to go back and watch more of it because I'm not completely finished with it, but this little bit of information kind of made me stop what I was doing and pay close attention to what was going on. So let's go back to 1972. Let's go back to the Atlanta Hawks being in the NBA. And, being, again, that I'm covering the Atlanta Hawks, how things are going here in the Atlanta area. We trade away Trae Young, all that other stuff. I cover the Atlanta Hawks consistently. So when this hit me, I'm telling you, this is crazy. So little did I know, right? Julius Erving, Dr. J, played, I won't say he played for the Atlanta Hawks, but briefly signed with the Atlanta Hawks in 1972. Did not know that. First of all, let me go ahead and point that out. I did not know that bit of information. I was very surprised as to why I didn't see many pictures of this, why I was not privy to this information. No one said, hey, Dr. J used to play for the Hawks. Didn't know. Okay, so let's dive into basically. Julius Erving had a contract with the Virginia Squires in the ABA. Now, one of the things going along with this documentary, Soul Power, was that a lot of players that were in the ABA were trying to use the ABA and their platform in order to propel their career into the NBA. So a lot of players were definitely making that move. Dr. J is no exception. He was one of those players as well. So basically what ended up happening was Dr. J, back in 1972, he signed with the Atlanta Hawks. I think he signed with the Atlanta Hawks. I want to say it was during the off season or right before the NBA season were to begin. So it was kind of on a hush-hush type situation. Didn't want too many people to know because, again, this was around the time where a lot of players were secretly signing with the NBA to get out of contracts that they had with the ABA. So Julius Erving, he signed. He officially signed with the Atlanta Hawks in 1972, and he even participated in some exhibition games, some preseason games that didn't necessarily count as just, this is why you see, this is not AI. This picture is not AI. This is not fictional. This is Dr. J playing with the Atlanta Hawks back in 1972. Now, here's where the issue kicked in, okay? There was a legal battle that ensued right after Dr. J signed with the Atlanta Hawks. Officially, Dr. J was still under contract with the Virginia Squires. The Virginia team with the ABA, he was still under contract with the Virginia Squires. A court injunction forced him back into the ABA and forced him back to the Virginia Squires before the ABA season started, or before either season started, okay? So this basically sent Dr. J back to the Virginia Squires, back to the ABA, and the Dr. J saga here in the Atlanta area never really happened, okay? All of that was erased, washed away. He was no longer with the Atlanta Hawks. The sad thing is, okay? The sad thing is Dr. J went on to become a monster. And again, I started this off by saying hindsight is 2020. Imagine what would have happened if Dr. J would have stayed with the Atlanta Hawks. What if he stayed with the Atlanta Hawks? Now, he ended up going back to the ABA. He then eventually signed with the New York Nets. At the time, the New York Nets, were with New York. They weren't a Brooklyn team, but they were with the New York Nets. And, of course, he went there, signed with the New York Nets. That's where he actually had his coming out, his breakaway start of his career. He went with the New York Nets. He was a champion of some sort. He actually won MVP with the New York Nets. And then later on, when the NBA-ABA merger took place, he then signed with the Philadelphia 76ers, a larger market, of course, at the time. And he then, of course, would go on to win multiple MVPs. He would win a championship also with the Philadelphia 76ers as well. And again, what if? Again, it begs the question, what if? What if Dr. J would have stayed with the Atlanta Hawks? Would the Hawks be talking about more championships here in the Atlanta area other than, well, we didn't actually win any in the Atlanta area. The Hawks were still a St. Louis team when they won an NBA championship. Also, too, again, would the butterfly effect have taken place? You know how small, subtle things happen in the past, or history's sake, something might have been different, which changes the entire course of history from that point on. So again, would the butterfly effect have changed? What do you think would have happened if Dr. J would have stayed in an Atlanta Hawk uniform? So many questions, so many things that just popped into my head when I saw that. But again, just a little bit of black history for most of you guys, especially you sports fans here in the Atlanta area. And again, I understand why the older generation oftentimes say the Atlanta people can't have anything nice. Here in the Atlanta area, the Atlanta sports scene, we cannot have anything nice. And obviously, looking back on it, Dr. J was definitely something that I wish would have stayed here in the Atlanta area. It definitely would have had me poking my chest out saying, hey, Dr. J played here in the Atlanta Hawks area. Man, listen, my name is Walter Pollard. This is this is Alpha Male Sports. And I do appreciate you guys and your time. I'm signing out. Peace.